Welcome to the National Press Theatre. My name is Marie Danielle Smith. I'll be moderating today, and we have the Conservative finance critic Pierre Poilievre, who's going to discuss the Conservatives' pre-budget plans. So, Mr. Poilievre, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Tuesday morning, the Justice Committee will meet to consider a Conservative motion allowing Jody Wilson-Raybould to complete her unfinished testimony. You'll recall that Justin Trudeau imposed a gag order on Jody Wilson-Raybould with respect to events that occurred after she left the post of Attorney General, but before she resigned from Cabinet. This period is incredibly important in getting to the truth in Trudeau's SNC-Lavalin corruption. We know that something happened that was so odious and so appalling in that time period, it caused a minister of the Crown to resign in protest. That same former minister has written the chair of the Justice Committee, saying she has more to tell and asking for the chance to tell it. The Prime Minister and the Prime Minister alone has the power to give her this freedom. Now, early indications are not good. Last week, Trudeau sent his majority members into the committee to slam the gavel and shut down debate on the motion altogether. The chairman was so ashamed of his conduct, he had to sneak out the back door and avoid the cameras. But Canadians were not fooled. They want to know the truth. The former Attorney General has alleged that the Prime Minister personally and politically interfered with her role, issued veiled threats. She said the entire affair reminded her of the Saturday Night Massacre, a reference to Richard Nixon's Watergate firings. And she says that the Prime Minister's purpose in this was to help a Liberal-linked corporation avoid prosecution and trial for over $100 million of fraud and bribery charges. Now, we expect that the Prime Minister will try to drown out this scandal with billions of dollars of irresponsible spending that will drive up Canadians' taxes if he is re-elected. This is the old Kathleen Wynne playbook, invented by PMO puppet master Gerald Butts. And it has 3 steps. First, a massive scandal. Second, massive spending to distract Canadians from it. And third, massive tax increases after the election to pay for it all. Conservatives are calling out this strategy before it happens, and we're warning the Prime Minister. Canadians are watching. Do not bet on them staying silent if you try to shut down the SNC-Lavalin investigation at Justice Committee, because there will be a backlash like you may have never seen before. And that is what's coming this week if the Prime Minister tries to cover up this scandal. Merci beaucoup d'être venu. Comme vous le savez, l'ancien procureur général a été empêché de présenter tous les faits par rapport au scandale SNC-Lavalin. Le Premier ministre l'a empêché de parler des événements qui se sont déroulés après qu'elle ait été enlevée du poste de procureur général, mais avant sa démission. C'est important de savoir ce qui s'est produit, parce que nous savons qu'il y a des événements très importants qui se sont produits pendant cette période. C'est ces événements qui ont causé l'ancien procureur général de démissionner du cabinet entièrement. On sait que le ministre ne démissionne pas pour rien. Elle veut partager toute son histoire. C'est la raison pour laquelle le comité de la justice se rencontrera mardi prochain. Et les membres décideront si, oui ou non, elle aura l'occasion de dire toute la vérité. Justin Trudeau est en charge. C'est lui qui décidera. Il a une majorité sur le comité. Déjà, les indices de ce qu'il va faire n'est pas bon. La semaine dernière, Justin Trudeau a ordonné ses membres du comité à annuler le débat sur une motion qui visait à rappeler Mme Wilson-Raybould pour compléter son témoignage. Les conservateurs, aujourd'hui, sont en train d'avertir le premier ministre de ne pas camoufler le scandale. Nous savons ce que les libéraux vont essayer de faire. Ils vont inonder les Canadiens avec les grandes dépenses irresponsables dans le budget afin de distraire tout le monde du scandale et corruption par rapport à SNC. C'est l'approche des trois étapes des libéraux. On commence avec un grand scandale de corruption. 2, on essaie de distraire les Canadiens avec des énormes dépenses. Et 3, les libéraux augmenteront des taxes pour payer la facture après des élections, s'il est réélu. Les conservateurs avertissent le premier ministre aujourd'hui que nous allons utiliser tous nos outils parlementaires afin d'exposer toute la corruption et le scandale et pour l'empêcher de camoufler ce qui s'est produit. Si Justin Trudeau s'attend à ce que les Canadiens acceptent un camouflage, il sera étonné la semaine prochaine. Thank you very much.
So we'll take questions if there are any. Yeah, Olivia?
So, in your view, why is it so important for Jody Wilson-Raybould to speak at the Justice Committee? Because the government says she can speak at any time, she can hold a press conference, she can do interviews. Why does she need to go back to the Justice Committee?
She is getting world-renowned legal advice that she needs the Prime Minister's permission to speak about events that occurred while she was in his cabinet. And she wants to enter her words into testimony at the committee, which is investigating the scandal. If the Prime Minister has nothing to hide, why not to let her attend? Let's reverse your question. What harm would it do to have her there? I mean, there are dozens of witnesses every day in parliamentary committees across the precinct. They don't distract from cabinet, from parliament, from any of the work of government or MPs. So what harm would it be for her to just show up and finish the story that he prevented her from telling in the first place? I think the only harm would be to Justin Trudeau, who doesn't want the truth to come out.
What's your tactic if the Liberals don't allow her to speak again? Are you planning to derail the budget, and are you planning to stall legislation in the House, and are you concerned about public backlash?
There will be a massive public backlash if Justin Trudeau tries to cover up this scandal and shut down the investigation into his role in it. And we, as Conservatives, are going to use every parliamentary tool in the toolkit to end the cover-up and let her speak. Our warning to the Prime Minister is that if he thinks Canadians will quietly let him shut down the investigation, he's in for a terrible surprise next week.
Any?
Following up on that, should that mean that, Canadians and the Liberals should be kind of watching on Tuesday in case they block the attempt to bring Jody Wilson-Raybould back, that perhaps there'd be some procedural play by the Conservatives to delay maybe the budget or to try and attempt to call her back to another committee or something like that?
Look, all eyes should be on those closed doors at the Justice Committee meeting on Tuesday morning. Trudeau has decided that the meeting has to happen behind closed doors, but members will have to come out of those doors and explain to the public the decision. And it's going to be one of two things. A, Trudeau is agreeing to have her testify again with no gag order, or B, he's covering it all up. And if it's cover up, he can expect Canadians to carry out a ferocious backlash. It's not going to work for him.
I have a question too.
Please.
Yeah. You talk about the possibility that the Prime Minister could try to use big budget spending to distract from the SNC-Lavalin affair. Can you sort of outline what the Conservatives are expecting out of the budget with a bit more specificity?
Well, Justin Trudeau promised that we'd have a balanced budget this year. He said the budget will balance itself in 2019. He's blasted through all of his deficit promises in every previous budget. and we're going to hold him accountable for doing the same in this one. We're concerned that because he is trying to drown out the SNC-Lavalin scandal, he will spray money in all directions in the hopes that Canadians will be distracted by the sights of their own money flying at them. This might be his political strategy to get out of a scandal, but it will be extremely costly to taxpayers who will pay more if he's reelected. Our approach as Conservatives is summarized very simply. We think the government should live within its means, leave more in people's pockets, and let them get ahead.
Are there any specific programs that you are anticipating to see an increase in spending on?
Well, what we've seen from Trudeau so far is just indiscriminate, out-of-control spending in all directions. He's been growing government at 3 times the combined rate of inflation and population growth. Outside of war and recession, he's the biggest per capita spender in the history of prime ministers. He's gone from a balanced budget left him by the Conservatives to massive and uncontrolled deficits that are scheduled to be with us until the year 2040, according to Finance Canada. When I go around my community, I ask people, have you seen the benefits of this spending? They say no. They sure have felt the higher taxes, and they're worried that there's more to come if he keeps spending at this rate.
Yep, Annie?
On a separate subject, today the International Trade Committee is holding an emergency meeting to discuss China's ban of canola. There are some experts who are concerned that this maybe is the next step by China following the Meng Wanzhou arrest. What do you think of this study for the first, and then what do you think of the fact of the way that Canada has handled the extradition and the China file in the last few months?
So first of all, canola is an extremely important Canadian commodity. And our farmers, particularly our prairie farmers, are renowned for its production. It is an extremely important product. I think this is another example of where Canadians are paying for Trudeau's mistakes. His record on China is embarrassing. Of course, he famously said that he admires the basic Chinese dictatorship. The Chinese leaders call him the little potato. Because he has embarrassed himself on the world stage in, for example, his trip in India, his Twitter wars with Saudi Arabia, and his capitulations to Trump on trade, a lot of foreign leaders think they can walk all over Canada. And I think that's what we're seeing again in this particular case.
Any more questions? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.